Sleep in Ancient Egypt, the Journey of the Soul. Close your eyes and let yourself drift back thousands of years to the fertile banks of the Nile River, to the mysterious and majestic lands of ancient Egypt. As the sun slowly sets, painting the sky in shades of deep gold and crimson, the towering pyramids cast long shadows over the desert sands. The evening air is filled with a sacred stillness, a silence that beckons the soul to begin its nightly journey. For the ancient Egyptians, sleep was far more than mere rest. It was a profound spiritual passage, a sacred ritual that connected the physical body to the divine realm. They believed that a human was composed of several spiritual elements: the Ka, a vital life force that sustained the body, and the Ba, the essence of the individual's personality and soul. During sleep, the Ba was thought to leave the body, like a bird taking flight, soaring through the stars to mingle with the gods and otherworldly realms. Inside the homes, nightly preparations for sleep were carried out with great care and reverence. The soft linens that covered the beds were scented with oils extracted from the lotus flower, a symbol of rebirth and purity. This delicate fragrance was believed to cleanse the spirit and invite peaceful dreams. Applying a few drops of lotus oil to one's hands and pillow was a ritual act, a way to prepare the soul for its sacred voyage. In quiet corners of the room, incense made from myrrh and other sacred resins smoldered gently. The curling smoke was seen as a bridge to Nephthys, the goddess of the night and protector of sleep. Prayers were whispered to her. "O Nephthys, princess of the dark night, shield my spirit and guard my dreams." This invocation was meant to ward off evil spirits and ensure a night of tranquil rest. Dreams held a special significance in ancient Egyptian culture. They were not merely random images, but divine messages sent by the gods. Temples contained special dream chambers where the sick and the troubled would sleep, hoping for healing and guidance. Priests would listen carefully to the dreamer's accounts at dawn, interpreting the symbolism to provide wisdom and prophecy. As night deepened, the banks of the Nile were cloaked in a serene stillness. The gentle lapping of water against the shore mingled with the whispering breeze. Stars sparkled overhead, regarded as the eternal souls of ancestors and gods watching over the living. In a modest home, a young man lay on his linen mattress. He folded his hands in prayer and closed his eyes, sending his Ba out into the vast night sky. His body rested, but his spirit journeyed through the heavens, seeking renewal and divine connection. For the ancient Egyptians, sleep was a sacred meeting, a nightly pilgrimage where the soul was cleansed, refreshed, and prepared for the coming day. It was not simply the end of wakefulness, but a rebirth, a dance between mortal and divine. Sleep in ancient Greece, the temples of Hypnos. As the silver moonlight bathes the stone streets of Athens, the shadows of the Parthenon stretch gracefully across the quiet city. The gentle rustling of olive leaves carries a soft melody on the warm night breeze, setting the stage for a sacred passage between worlds. In ancient Greece, sleep was not merely a respite for the body, it was a divine encounter, a sacred communion with the gods. At the heart of this nocturnal realm stood Hypnos, the winged god of sleep. With a gentle touch upon weary eyelids, Hypnos would lead mortals away from the chaos of daylight into the tranquil embrace of dreams. His domain was the space between consciousness and the unconscious, where time slowed and the soul wandered freely. Venture with me to the Asclepion temples scattered along the Aegean coast. These sanctuaries were not only centers for physical healing, but also sacred places of spiritual renewal. Within their serene courtyards, the crunch of footsteps on smooth marble mingled with the whisper of laurel branches. Here, in the Abaton, a special chamber dedicated to healing sleep, patients would lie down on cool stone beds, hoping to receive divine guidance through their dreams. As dusk faded to night, soft lamplight flickered against the carved stone walls. Attendants gently burned sacred herbs like sage, laurel, and juniper on small braziers, filling the air with calming scents. These fragrances were believed to open the gateways to the dream world, inviting Hypnos to visit and soothe the sleepers. A young man reclined on the Abaton's smooth stone slab, his head resting on a carefully shaped pillow. His face bore a mixture of hope and apprehension as his eyes slowly closed. In his heart, a whispered plea escaped. "O Hypnos, gentle guardian of the night, speak to me in dreams and calm my restless soul." In this suspended moment, the world held its breath. Time seemed to pause as the veil between waking and sleeping thinned. Dreams came, sometimes cryptic, sometimes luminous, offering messages from gods or the deepest recesses of the mind. At dawn, priests and healers would awaken the sleepers, listening carefully to their dream accounts. Each vision was a sacred script, rich with symbols, guiding both physical recovery and spiritual insight. For the Greeks, dreams were gifts, profound encounters with fate and the divine. Throughout the night, beneath the watchful gaze of the stars, the city of Athens lay hushed. Olive branches whispered secrets to the moon, and the people walked the liminal space where gods and mortals met in silent communion. When morning light finally broke, the sleepers would arise renewed, carrying with them the sacred wisdom gifted by Hypnos. Night and tranquility in the Ottoman Empire, the etiquette of sleep in the palace. As twilight descends over Istanbul, the gentle breeze from the Bosphorus weaves its way through the grand walls of the Ottoman palace, whispering secrets of centuries past. Lanterns flicker softly, casting golden pools of light upon the intricate woodwork and velvet drapes that adorn the Sultan's chambers. In the Ottoman world, sleep was more than just a pause from daily life. It was a cherished ritual, steeped in order, serenity, and spiritual calm. Within the ornate halls of the Topkapi Palace, every detail was arranged with deliberate care to honor the sacredness of night and rest. Silk bed covers embroidered with delicate floral motifs were carefully spread, soft pillows fluffed just so, and scented lamps burned low to bathe the rooms in a warm, soothing glow. These preparations created a sanctuary, a cocoon of peace for weary bodies and minds. The palace physicians understood the vital role of sleep in maintaining health and balance. Before retiring, the Sultan and his court were often offered warm drinks infused with cinnamon, ginger, and honey, a comforting elixir believed to calm the nerves and ease the body into restful slumber. Scents of lavender and sage permeated the air, cleansing negative energies and inviting blessings for the night ahead. Within the secluded quarters of the harem, mothers gently lulled their children to sleep with soft lullabies handed down through generations. Their voices, tender and soothing, wrapped the young ones in a blanket of love and safety. "Sleep, my child, the night has come. Stars have fallen, moonbeams hum. Dreams will carry you so far, safe beneath the evening star." These lullabies were more than mere songs. They were ancient spells of protection and comfort, weaving love into the very fabric of the night. The Sultan's own chamber held a distinct solemnity. His bed was a blend of modesty and grandeur, opulent yet unpretentious, with deep blue curtains symbolizing the infinite sky and quietude. A single oil lamp flickered beside his resting place, casting dancing shadows that seemed to honor the sacredness of his sleep. Guards patrolled silently outside, ensuring the serenity of the night remained unbroken. Beyond the palace walls, the people of the Ottoman lands shared their own intimate rituals. Families gathered on large divans, resting side by side, sharing whispered prayers and heartfelt Allah geceni hayırlısın, or May God bless your night. These words were more than a simple good night. They were heartfelt invocations, carrying wishes for safety, peace, and divine protection throughout the darkness. Thus, nightfall in the Ottoman world was never simply the end of the day. It was a gentle invitation into a sacred space of renewal, a time to surrender worries and embrace the restorative grace of sleep. Wrapped in rituals, prayers, and tender melodies, the people drifted into dreams, cradled by centuries of tradition and faith. Medieval Japan, the art of sleep and serenity. As the sun dips behind the distant mountains, painting the sky with hues of crimson and lavender, the quiet villages of medieval Japan prepared to welcome the gentle embrace of night. The soft rustle of bamboo leaves mingles with the faint chirpings of cicadas, creating a natural lullaby that beckons the body and spirit toward rest. In this land where harmony and balance reign supreme, sleep is not merely a physical necessity, but an art form, an essential passage to serenity and renewal. In traditional Japanese homes, tatami mats provide a soft, natural surface upon which futons are laid out each evening. The preparation of the sleeping space itself is an act of mindfulness. Every item, folded kimono, sliding shoji screens, and the quiet glow of a paper lantern are arranged to foster calm and simplicity. The very atmosphere breathes tranquility. Before settling down, many would perform the ritual of misogi, a spiritual cleansing involving washing the hands and face with water to purify both body and mind. This cleansing symbolized the shedding of the day's burdens, preparing one to enter the sacred realm of sleep with a clear heart. The soothing aroma of sandalwood or hinoki cypress often filled the air, burned as incense to invite peace and protect against restless spirits. These natural scents, subtle yet profound, worked in harmony with the quiet environment to calm the mind and ease tension from the body. In the dim light of the tokonoma alcove, a small scroll bearing a haiku or a painting of a serene landscape served as a gentle reminder of nature's eternal rhythms, a visual meditation encouraging the sleeper to align with the flow of the seasons and the universe. Families shared a profound respect for rest, understanding sleep as a time when the soul rejuvenates and the mind prepares for the challenges of the coming day. Mothers often sang soft lullabies, their voices blending with the rustle of silk kimonos and the distant hoot of an owl, weaving an atmosphere of safety and love. Dreams, too, held a special place in Japanese culture. They were seen as portals between the earthly and spiritual worlds, offering insight and guidance. Samurai and monks alike would reflect deeply on their dreams, seeking wisdom and strength. Night in medieval Japan was a delicate balance of stillness and subtle ritual, a time when every breath, every movement was infused with intention. To sleep was to return to the essence of life itself, to harmonize with the cosmos, and awaken renewed.
The Vikings sleep amidst firelight and fjords. As the sun dips beneath the rugged Scandinavian horizon, casting fiery hues over the fjords and dense pine forests, Viking settlements settle into the quiet of evening. The crackling of hearth fires fills the longhouses, sending sparks upward as shadows dance across timbered walls. In this harsh and beautiful land, sleep was a vital refuge, a time to restore strength and dream beyond the fierce realities of daily life. Inside the longhouse, families gathered on raised wooden platforms covered with thick pelts and woven blankets. The air was heavy with the scent of burning wood, mingled with earthy aromas from dried herbs hung near the rafters. The hearth, the heart of the home, blazed brightly, casting warmth and light that warded off the chill of the northern night. Before lying down, it was common to partake in a calming ritual, perhaps a cup of warm mead infused with herbs like chamomile or valerian, known for their soothing properties. Elders might whisper stories and sagas, their voices low and rhythmic, weaving a tapestry of history and myth that lulled young and old alike toward rest. The Vikings held a deep respect for the balance of life and death, bravery and peace. Sleep was seen as a necessary pause in the warrior's journey, a sacred moment when the soul could wander freely, sometimes visiting the realms of gods like Odin or Freyja in dreams. Families often hung protective charms, runes carved on wood or stone near sleeping areas to guard against malevolent spirits. These talismans symbolized protection, strength, and connection to their ancestral roots. Outside, the sounds of nature, the distant howl of wolves, the gentle crash of waves against rocky shores, blended with the soft breathing of the sleeping household. The night was alive, yet tranquil, a sanctuary where dreams carried the echoes of heroic deeds and the promise of new dawns. The indigenous peoples of the Americas. Night, dreams, and connection. As dusk falls over the vast and varied landscapes of the Americas, from the towering redwoods of the Pacific Northwest to the sweeping plains of the Great Plains and dense jungles of the Amazon, the indigenous peoples prepare to enter the sacred space of night. For them, sleep was not only a time for rest, but a profound moment of spiritual connection, healing, and guidance. In many tribes, sleep rituals involved communal gatherings where stories, songs, and prayers were shared, weaving a protective web around those about to rest. The soft crackle of a fire mingled with the whispered songs of elders, filling the air with a sense of warmth and safety. Dream catchers, crafted with care from willow hoops, sinew, and feathers, were believed to catch bad dreams in their intricate threads, allowing only the good and pure dreams to pass through and gently descend upon the sleeper. This emblem of protection symbolized the tribe's deep relationship with nature and the unseen forces of the spirit world. Herbal smudging, burning sacred plants such as sage, sweetgrass, or cedar, was a common practice to cleanse the space, inviting positive energy and warding off negative spirits. The fragrant smoke wove through homes and teepees alike, creating an invisible shield around families as they drifted into sleep. Dreams held an honored place in indigenous cultures, often seen as messages from ancestors, animal spirits, or the Great Mystery. Shamans and spiritual leaders would interpret these nocturnal visions, guiding their communities in times of need. Sleep was thus a gateway to wisdom and healing. In the quiet moments before slumber, parents would sing soft lullabies in native languages, their melodies blending with the natural chorus of crickets and nightbirds. These songs conveyed love, protection, and the deep bonds of family. Night in indigenous communities was a time of reverence and renewal. The rhythms of the earth, sky, and spirit intertwined, reminding all who rested that they were part of a vast living web. Through sleep, they connected with the sacred, receiving strength for the day to come and honor for the ancestors who walked before. Sleep and dreaming in ancient India. The sacred night. As twilight softens the vibrant hues of the Indian subcontinent, The air fills with the scent of sandalwood and jasmine. The gentle murmur of sacred rivers mingles with the distant chanting of evening prayers. In ancient India, night was a sacred time when the body rested and the soul embarked on journeys through realms both mystical and profound. The ancient texts spoke of swapna, the dream state, as one of the four states of consciousness, a bridge between the waking world and the spiritual plane. Sleep was considered a divine gift, a chance for the soul to rejuvenate and commune with higher powers. Within humble homes and grand palaces alike, the preparations for sleep involved rituals of purification. Water from sacred rivers was sprinkled around living spaces, while lamps made of oil and wicks burned steadily, casting a warm, steady glow that banished darkness and invited auspicious energies. Incense made from frankincense, camphor, and other fragrant herbs was burned to create a sacred atmosphere. These scents were believed to purify the mind and body, inviting peaceful rest and auspicious dreams. In many regions, lullabies carried the profound wisdom of generations, sung softly by mothers to their children. These songs spoke of divine protection, the infinite cycles of life, and the benevolent gaze of gods and goddesses watching over the sleeper. Dreams in ancient India were not mere figments of the imagination, but sacred messages and symbols. They were often interpreted by learned sages who used them to guide individuals on their spiritual paths. Some dreams foretold important events. Others offered insight into karma and dharma, helping the dreamer align with their true purpose. As the night deepened, stars glittered like scattered jewels across the vast sky, and the world slowed into stillness. Sleep, in this ancient land, was more than rest. It was a sacred voyage where the soul refreshed, reconnected, and prepared to greet the dawn renewed in body and spirit.